right? And I was telling him, well, instead of taking me on a date, the same money that you gonna use towards the date, you can help me buy my part for my car. My car is still drivable, but I need like a crankshaft or a camshaft, and it's like $200. And I was like, well, whatever money that you was gonna use towards the date, you can help me put the money towards buying the part. And I was like, I'll come up with the rest. You know, like, you ain't got to give me the whole thing. Now, this part that I need, it keeps my car from cranking. Like I might have to try like 2 times and then it crank, but it don't crank right up. But this part that I need, it'll help it crank right up. So he gonna say that's beneficial to me, but the date is beneficial to you, right? The fuck?
Now, and welcome back to the video, people. She clearly stated, without exactly saying it directly, how she was just out for to use the brother who offered to take her out on a date, who offered, you could also say, wine and dine her. And this is a perfect example, in case in point, of the mentality of the average modern day woman, specifically the average modern day black woman, because there have been other social media reels on behalf of how women, black women, would go out of their ways to finesse men, from women who may have arranged to go out on dates with men and then recorded those dates, posted them on social media while bringing their kids on dinner dates. And even if the man would have preferred not to meet their kids right away, their ulterior, and I do struggle with these words from time to time, ulterior motive for bringing their kids to the dates will be just so the man who may have arranged usually to go out on a date with them, a date whereas he would have preferred to get to know the woman on a much more personal and intimate level instead of her bringing her kids. Might as well say these women also call themselves usually ruining the dates on the sly anytime they may arrange to go out with a man after the man may ask them, be nice enough to offer to take them out on a dinner date, spend his hard-earned money, only for her to bring her kids, not informing him in advance that she plans on bringing either her kid or kids, because it never fails. The majority of women who have kids have more than one kid, 2 at the minimum usually. Although there are some who may have as many as 7, in some cases 8, 9 kids, who they may have brung along with them, believe it or not, while going on dates with men. Men who in some instances may not have kids of his very own. Anyways, this is a prime example of how, another example, the other example I just gave, of how so many black women are so conniving, so crafty, so clever, to the point where it's not even funny, and how the majority of them are users, especially this here lady in this TikTok reel, who claimed that she wanted to get some extra money instead of going out on a date with the man who was nice enough to offer her to take her on a date in the first place. She just straight up said, once again, without saying at the same time, how she was just out to get what she wanted to out of him. My bad. And who knows, she may have not even much needed that actual money that she claimed would have been for to get her car fixed, a camshaft and a starter for her car, which are two completely different parts for a car. Instead, she may have wanted to use that money to buy her some weed to smoke. Because if you pay close attention to her bottom lip, how it's got black around it, I could tell that she clearly smokes either Black and Milds or weed, probably both, which I wouldn't put past her at all. And for some of you who may not know, anytime you smoke weed, that is a pretty expensive habit already. And I wouldn't put anything past this here woman, who is not really one of the most prettiest women, and still she's not one of the most ugliest women. I would say she's somewhat attractive, and she comes across as pretty masculine if you listen to some of her other content on her TikTok channel. On top of that, there have been other people, one of them by the likes of Anton Daniels, and also the Reva chick. I believe her YouTube channel will be Reva TV, who made a video as well about this same exact TikTok reel about this same lady who claimed to have wanted to, instead of going out on a date with the man who was nice enough to offer to go out on a date with her, she wanted instead him to give her $200, judging from my understanding, so she could be able to get this extra part for her car. And this woman here happens, judging from some more content of hers on her page that I listen to, this here woman happens to be a mother as well, believe it or not. A mother of not just one kid, but I believe 2 kids, either 2 or 3 kids. And I can't help but to wonder, why is it you can't help your dad, your kid's father, who's still alive? Why can't you ask him for the money? And it's also, judging from my understanding, clear that she has another, where one of her kids, I'm trying to say, have more than one father. One of them happened to have passed away. I'm assuming that he probably was in the streets. She didn't say exactly how he passed away, but I could just tell due to her demeanor that she's into guys that are hood guys who don't mean it any good, guys who like the gang bang, who are always in the streets, drug dealers, scammers, those types of guys, the main types of guys women within her age bracket, because she is in her early 30s, usually go for the most part. Women using their 20s and 30s, and in some cases 40s, they always choose the worst calibers of men they could find to choose, especially when it comes to choosing men, like I said in some previous videos of mine, to have kids by. Anyways, and once again, this one clip just goes to show you the types of measures and lengths that so many black women was usually settled for when it comes to doing all they can to manipulate men. And I guarantee you that the guy who was nice enough to offer to take her out on a dinner date, is not her type by a long shot. Happens to come across as a quote unquote good guy. And what I mean by a quote unquote good guy, a guy who's never in trouble with the law, someone who may work a job, may believe in doing all he can to live an ordinary life, who doesn't get high, doesn't drink any kind of alcoholic beverages, none of that. He's just a square, as some women would usually consider those types of guys as. Anyways, make sure to like, share, comment, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm out.